and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, you know we love hearing from all of you, your comments, stories, ideas. Feel free to get a hold of us anytime. You can call, text 305-900-BEND. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Riding along shotgun, as always, is my producer, sound engineer, and co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, last week, we talked a little bit about how spring turkey season is going on in many areas of the country. Although some places it's wrapping up, some places it's just kicking off. We had to laugh in our area. Neither of us got drawn again this year for spring turkey tags. Our state requires a lottery system. And lo and behold, this morning, before recording the show, what did we see? A flock of 10 go right by the deck on the cabin.
So how many was there? I know you were shouting at me. How many did you see?
I counted 10
or 11
total. There were 8 hens, 2 toms. However, I gotta say, I didn't feel so bad not having a tag. They didn't look the best. We'll just put it this way.
Well, they were just teasing us because we didn't get drawn for nothing.
Well, and I don't feel so bad. Like I said, I could tell the toms were young. Their beards were not very long at all. So, you know what? I'm happy we can let them live another year.
We'll pass them up.
Changing gears, I have a little bit of news for you all in the agriculture world, and that is the journey from cornfields to Mars. Yeah, we're talking about the planet Mars. Turns out the University of Nebraska-Lincoln has a groundbreaking initiative called Space 2. This initiative is to revolutionize agriculture with the idea of aiming to cultivate the first acre of corn on Mars soil.
They copied that movie. What was it?
With Matt Damon?
Matt Damon, and they were growing, and he had potatoes. Is
He
that
did
what he was? He had
potatoes.
spuds. They're copying that.
Okay, I do have to laugh at that because why are those the two vegetables or the two foods that you can grow literally anywhere is corn and potatoes?
Oh, there
right?
you go. Now it can be grown on Mars. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Continue. Carry on.
Well, they're working on learning how to discover to grow food in space, as we said, and revolutionize earthbound farming techniques, shaping the future of agriculture. The goals of the Space 2 initiative is to cultivate, as I mentioned, the first acre of corn on Mars soil, and its implications of agricultural sciences is what they want to learn. The objective is to support astronauts during space travel and pioneer life support systems beyond Earth. Exploration of space agriculture researches potential impact also on the climate change mitigation and enhance plant resilience on Earth. They're hoping that they can build, as I just said, more resilient plants here for us to use on Earth.
So I would assume they're trying to simulate soil conditions of what it would be on Mars in certain areas, I guess, is what they're trying to do with this research?
You've got it. You've got an overall goal, shape the future of agriculture through pioneering research and innovation, as this will be the first test center here in the United States. No other university has attempted to do this. I'm
kind of smirking a little.
I know you're laughing at the idea of the University of Nebraska imitating what the ground may be like in Mars.
No, don't get me wrong. I am a Cornhusker fan, of course. Oh, we're talking about corn. I didn't even know that matched there. But, I mean, it kind of, I think you know what I'm saying. I mean, that we're doing some research if we can grow crops on other planets. Yeah, I mean, we can't even get there yet.
I know, but I know part of this. I read further into it, and we do have more information, by the way, on thebendshow.com in the show notes for this show. And, you know, the trendy word has been sustainability. You hear that a lot?
I got it.
Sustainable agriculture.
All right.
So they're hoping that with what they learn by growing crops potentially on Mars, they could actually use to improve what we're doing here in the United States or across the world. So
okay, touche.
We're not saying we're all loading up on a ship yet and heading out to space and not coming back. That's not at all what's being talked about yet. I'll leave it at that.
But some of the science behind this, they're seeing if they can apply it here.
Yes.
All right.
And it makes sense. If you think about it, it does make sense.
All right. I can get behind that.
All right. Now for a housekeeping tip that I have for you all. I know you're going to shake your heads. You're going to kind of go, what? We got to be thinking about this already. And that is your 4th of July reservations. I'm being real serious about that. Camping, vacation rentals, your bed and breakfast you might want to be staying at this summer. You got to be making those reservations right now if you haven't already. Because if you realize, depending on where the 4th of July lands, say it lands on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, many Americans, they're going to attempt to make that into a 4-day weekend because they'll probably only have to use 1 day of vacation to make that happen. So with that on your mind, thinking about 4th of July, yes, get after it. Get online, especially if you're going to those national parks or state parks, and make sure you reserve your campsites now to assure you've got no worries once they get closer to this big celebrations. And actually, when we get off this radio show, we get done with the Ben Show, I'm going to be making our 4th of July campsite reservations too. And that might also make some of you sit there and go, wait a second, did I make my reservations yet for Memorial Weekend? Always considered the big kickoff for camping season. Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and do that right now? Why don't you get on the phone, get on the computer, and make those reservations for both the Memorial Weekend and 4th of July weekends before it is too late and everything books up. Since we are in planning mode, I'm going to keep you in planning mode because I'm very, very excited to get our first camping trip of the year in. And as you can imagine, I'm starting to already prep when it comes to the food. And those of you that have graduations and upcoming family get-togethers, this is a great idea. As you are cooking right now for your family or even for just for yourself, be making extra and start freezing that to take along on your camping trips. Just make sure you portion it in smaller portions. One idea that I like to do is I always mention make chili, but take the meat and make lots of it and then freeze it in containers that are enough for 2 to 3, 4 people, whoever's usually in your group. We do that all the time. Another one is, while you have those different meats, say you take out a bunch of different steaks that you like to use for stir fry, something yummy like that, okay? And you've cut up all of this meat and it's still raw. You don't have to cook it yet, but just take tin foil, spread it out, big packet, and what you're going to do is make little tin foil packets of meals. You're going to take your meats, you're going to put in your favorite teriyaki or maybe
the hobo meals kind of you're talking about.
Yeah, you can use chicken as well, but you can mix it with the teriyaki with the steak is what I like for those kind of quick meals, and then throw in some vegetables, seal them up, throw them back in the freezer. They'll be frozen solid. Then you just take them out when you're ready to make them when you're on your camping trip. You got your fire lit. You can toss them even in a skillet. They'll cook up just fine. Same with the chicken. You can do that. Make pineapple in with it, make like a pineapple chicken with vegetables, just something different.
And one of the helpful hints about making that ahead of time, like your hamburger patties and freezing that, use that as ice. Because then you don't have to pack a bunch of ice. Your stuff will stay cooler longer in your coolers, just trying to save you some extra space. Yeah, you don't have kind of some of the fun of your making the whole meal at the campfire, but you still kind of get to have the experience. I'd rather do that than pack all this extra stuff with.
I highly recommend, by the way, I'm glad you brought up the hamburger patties. I am a huge believer in making all of your hamburger patties at home ahead of time, season the way you like them. Just remember to put that wax paper in between the patties, and make sure you have the wax side against the meat so it peels off nicely. All right, you put that paper.
That's where
side,
the problem was.
Yes, you put the paper side against the meat. Good luck getting it off. That's all I can say.
I should have listened to the Ben Show more often, and then I would have known that, right?
Yes. So there you have it. Some ideas to kind of get your mind and wheels going and get you excited, just like we are, because we're out there to adventure along with you. Stay with us. The Ben Show is going to be back in just a few. We're going to be talking about how to enjoy, whether it's a national park, a state park, a park in general, all summer long. This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the Shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime. The world-famous Miles City Bucking Horse Sale is back, featuring one of the largest one-day match bronc riding events on the planet. Join us on Sunday, May 19th at the fairgrounds for a PRCA-sanctioned spectacle where over 30 elite bronc riders compete for a massive $50,000 purse. Let's add to the excitement with pari-mutuel wagering. Visit buckinghorsesale.com for a full schedule and tickets. The world-famous Miles City Bucking Horse Sale in Miles City, Montana, where the spirit of the West comes alive.
You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadron Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and as always, riding along shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, National Park Week is upon us. It's always celebrated this time of the year, and it's a great way to really think about America's natural treasures, right? We think about America the Beautiful, and I like focusing and highlighting it just as well because sometimes we forget that there are national parks right in our own backyards we may not have visited lately, or it's a great time to, as you could tell, we're getting prepared for the upcoming year to go and make sure you have penciled out in your calendar time to go visit. Maybe there's a park that's a little further away. You've always wanted to see Yellowstone. You've wanted to make your way all the way up to Glacier. That's always a pretty good drive for folks. Or you're wanting to head to other regions of the United States. Regardless, with well over 400 different national park sites, now is the time to make the time to go and do that. And sometimes you think about it and you're going, well, I've been to the parks and I don't know, how do I make them more interesting? How do I make the most of this park visit? Well, I gotta say, Tigger and I, we have one in our backyard and we've been there many a times. But one of the things we sometimes do is we take the time to kind of make it more of a discovery mission. Is there something in that park or in our state or that state that a park is located that maybe we haven't tried to treasure hunt for? And when I say treasure hunt, I'm talking, say, I want to get a photograph of a certain flower. I want to see a certain type of print from an animal that maybe you don't see outside of the park, like a buffalo. There you have it.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to jump in.
Okay.
One of the big reasons, if I can just throw this in, that we do this is to get our minds off of everything else in life. So if we go there with a purpose, and we are very big on supporting those parks that are in your areas. And, when we travel, we try to get to as many as we can. If we go there with a purpose, it takes our mind off of everything else, all those businesses, all that stuff, everything that's going on. You tend to put the phone away, or at least, the social medias and all of that, and just focus on what you're out there to do. Or at least maybe I'm talking on my behalf, but, that's one of the big reasons that we will go do that is just to kind of put the real world behind you a little bit and take a little time for ourselves.
And that's really important for our well-being. Often we let the rat race of life rule us, right? We don't do that.
There's a reason it's called the rat race.
But it's amazing how once you get yourself disconnected from the rat race and you actually focus and make it a fun adventure, such as maybe you're in an area that has one secluded waterfall that only has a really big rush of water a certain time of year, or that there are certain flowers, whether it's the bluebonnets of Texas or the bluebells up in the northern parts of the state. I'm just saying, there's just different things to find and appreciate wherever you go, no matter what time of year you are going. All right. So if that's not kind of your thing, you're like, well, I don't know if I want to necessarily have that kind of a goal. Here's another idea. Just go for the fact of volunteering for conservation. Think about going and visiting these national or state parks and taking time as you go about. I like to say you should do this regardless, but if you see garbage laying around, those kinds of things,
I'm a big one for that.
Be an example for others and be picking up the trash and just showing how you're being respectful of nature.
What is that saying? Pack in and pack out.
Yes.
I don't know exactly how it goes, but everything you pack in, make sure you pack that out, even if it's just a little day trip.
That's absolutely correctly. And one thing you may not realize is don't be afraid to stop at the ranger offices or right at usually they have like a tourism type center at these different national parks and just ask, are there any volunteer opportunities going on? Is there something I could sign up to help with? Because you might end up learning about something you didn't know that is relevant to that park.
Now, sorry, I keep jumping in on this because this is one of my favorite memories that we have going to this place. Is y'all know, or those of you that just tuned into the show, Beck and I love games. We love playing cards specifically. Pinochle is our jam. We always travel with a little deck of Pinochle cards. Mm-hmm. And 9 out of 10 times when we go in somewhere or go to a park and we're on the go a lot, we'll grab one of us, we'll have a backpack, and we will have a deck of cards. And we'll stop right there on a rock and we'll play a game or a couple hands of two-handed Pinochle. And those are some of my favorite memories that we've had in these different places.
I agree.
It wasn't maybe, even though I like your idea of going and trying to find that animal print or that flower or something, my opinion is those are the memories I have of when we played cards here, we played cards there, we just stopped and did nothing else, and we were just sitting there playing cards. I thought that was really cool. That's just me.
Well, and what's happened when we've taken the time to just really relax in that location, almost every time on its own, it's like it was a gift from Mother Nature herself by sending, say, a soaring bald eagle over our heads.
Right. Or if you were hot, there's all of a sudden a little breeze came up or something.
Yes. And here's the other little secret that we do. If you're just tuning in now for the first time, you didn't know this, Tigger and I love Legos, and we have little minifigs.
We do that all the time.
Of each other. And we will set them up and take photos instead of so much of selfies of ourselves saying, hey, we were here. We do a kind of catch us if you can. And we take a photo of wherever that location is in that park, destination, wherever off the trail, somewhere neat that we just got to visit.
These are all ideas because, we also have the Ranch It Up radio show that you hear right alongside this, and we're focusing on all kinds of stuff. This is our way of just relaxing a little bit and enjoying because we are on the go a lot. And it's just a way for us to, as you said, get away from the rat race. Just some ideas that we do.
Now, one other thing I love that we both love to do is we enjoy history a lot. So I highly recommend, no matter where you are traveling through this next year, and it doesn't mean that you're having to travel to a national or state park. I'm talking anywhere you go to. Tigger and I are very good about kind of just doing a little bit of history research to find out, is there some hidden gem or is there kind of some wives' tale or something we need to investigate?
Or is there a relative?
Yes.
9 out of 10 times we found that, oh my gosh, we're related to that person that is mentioned in said history of whatever place we are looking at.
So we love diving into finding out about all this other interesting facts that you just don't otherwise take the time to learn about. I'm telling you, there's all different angles to be looking at why you should take that time for yourself. Get out in nature and do this. And if nothing else, encourage that next generation. Make yourself do this and make yourself take somebody younger with and teach them to appreciate that time spent together, that time away from the rat race, and learn to appreciate what is around them. America's beautiful, the gorgeous things, the landscapes. There's so much to see. And if they're bored, you can always tell them they're only allowed to use their phone if they take photos of what they're seeing. So with that, pack your bags, lace up your hiking boots, and we look forward to hearing from you on what you decided to go see this next year. Stay where you are. The Ben Show will be back right after this.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
The hunt is planned, the guide is booked, the trip is blocked off in the calendar, but one huge detail remains, preserving that trophy, creating a memory that will last a lifetime. Little Rack Taxidermy has that fast, friendly service to fulfill your taxidermy in a timely, professional manner. Reach out to Heather with Little Rack Taxidermy through Facebook at Little Rack Taxidermy or send an email to heatherjoe23@hotmail.com. Little Rack Taxidermy, bringing back the natural look.
Shooting ducks, skinning bucks, I'm a hunting princess in a pickup truck.
Josh Turner.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
Live in concert Thursday, May 16th at the Mild City Bucking Horse Sale in Mild City, Montana.
Baby, we ain't
One of country music's hottest performers with special guest Chancey Williams. Tickets are on sale now at buckinghorsesale.com. Josh Turner with special guest Chancey Williams at the world-famous Mild City Bucking Horse Sale in Mild City, Montana.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun is my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Do you know what flower is in season right now and is one that you should actually add to your bucket list to go see? That is the tulips. Now you're looking at me going, all right, what about tulips? Well, did you realize that there are tulip festivals? And if you've never seen tulip fields, I'm talking fields that are the size of a big old wheat field that are covered in different colors of tulips, it is a must see.
Isn't that like over there in the Netherlands or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's two areas actually that I highly recommend
Have you been
going
there?
and seeing. I've seen both of these areas.
Oh.
That's why I'm coming at you from personal experience. And someday, Tigger, I'm going to be dragging you to both of these to see these.
All right, Field of Flowers.
Whether you're Dutch or not, you have no choice. And you may even get suckered into having to buy a pair of those wooden shoes, too.
I would do that. I would do that. You take me over there, I'm putting on the clogs.
All right. So, yes, tulips are in season or just beginning to come into season across two different continents. And I should say we're talking the United States and Europe. And with that,
You mean North America? Two different continents or
I
countries?
meant North America.
I'll
and-
help you. I'll help you out with that, baby.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm having a little bit of issues. Can you tell I'm itching to get outside myself
Yes, I can.
right now?
I can.
All right. Staying here stateside. Holland, Michigan. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but Holland, Michigan sits up along the western coastline of Michigan, right along Lake Michigan itself. It's halfway up in the state, and they hold one of the best tulip festivals, in the nation. And every year, expect to see, I'm talking gorgeous fields of tulips in all kinds of varieties, colors. Some of them are even mixed colors.
So I'm teasing you and razzing you, of course, but I'm assuming where you could say, look, even some doughhead like me would be like, wow.
Yes,
That's fairly
you would be.
impressive.
And get this, right now, this time of year, the salmon are running. So pair this
We can go fishing.
with a fishing trip and
I mean,
going after the coho
I'm still
right
wearing
now.
my wooden clogs to Michigan. It doesn't matter.
Yes, expect to go there. I mean, I'm talking between the fishing and the tulips, guys, gals, everyone will be happy.
Can
now,
you go in and just clip some? Is that legal?
No,
you
not
can't do that.
unless
Okay,
it
all right.
states, unless they say you can. Now, if you're going to cross the big water and head over to the Netherlands, Amsterdam is my focus there. Oh my gosh, I'm talking massive fields and every color imaginable, even black tulips. Did you know they make a black tulip?
I did not know that.
Yeah, there are black tulips that grow. And on every street corner, you will find throughout Amsterdam vendors selling you gorgeous tulips. You can buy the seeds. However, make sure you go through the correct customs when you go to try to bring said seeds back.
Did you get in trouble?
I'm not going to talk about that.
That is a story for another day. That's the one. Okay, we all love the flowers.
All right.
That's the one.
So there you have it. Get your butts in gear. Go and make that a bucket list thing to see the tulip festivals, whether they're in Holland, Michigan, or Amsterdam, Netherlands. I highly recommend making the trip. And with that, folks, we're going to call this show wrapped. Thank you to my producer, sound engineer, co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. And as always, folks, we love hearing from you. Let us know if you've got something spot-worthy for us to share, a recipe we should test in our very own cabin kitchen, as well as your area's field reports. That number you can call or text anytime is 305-900-2363. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. If you missed part of this episode or you want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website thebendshow.com, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to the Ben Show YouTube channel, as well as if you are looking to change things up at your next event, conference, awards, banquet, or rodeo, think about having Tigger and Beck entertain your crowd. We are PRCA Pro Rodeo card holders. Tigger is a pro rodeo announcer, and I am a PRCA music director. Let us make your event one to remember. Thank you to our partners, the world famous Miles City Buck and Horse Sale, Tally Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Blue Water Girl Charters, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all of you that came along with us today, and whether you're coming or going, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.